Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful morning. Welcome back to Adobe Live for the second challenge of this round of the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. I'm going to be your host today. My name is Voodoo Val, and I'm super pumped to jump into what we have planned for today. I see so many familiar faces. Mandy, Sam Peterson, it's good to see you, my friend. Valder, Michaela, Romaine, Jose, Patty, Ava, Daniela. It's so good to see all of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning back in again for another challenge. I saw so many fantastic entries from yesterday in the Discord, yesterday and today, and I'm super proud of you guys. Some of them were so well done, and some of them were actually hilarious. You guys really had a lot of fun with our retouching challenge yesterday, and I'm going to pull some of those up so that we can go over them and show them off a little bit towards the end of the stream. But for those of you who are actually totally unfamiliar with what we're doing right now, I'm actually going to go over how you can get involved with the challenge and with me and with everyone in chat, how you can share your entries and basically just kind of jump in and scrub. Real quick, what I am going to do is I am going to pull up the Daily Creative Challenge page, which is what we will need in order for you guys to get all of the assets and stuff that you need for your challenges throughout these 2 weeks. So get a little bit of information on the structure of this challenge. So each day you receive a challenge. As you can see down here, as the days go on, we've been unlocking a little challenge every morning. They typically are unlocked around 8 a.m. Pacific time, so it's been up for about an hour. I try to jump in here nice and early and do the challenge once for you on stream so that you folks have kind of a starting point and some idea of how you can interpret the challenge before you jump into it yourself. Or some people like to just work along with me while I'm streaming. It's up to you what you want to do. Number 2 here says join the community chat, stay informed and connect with others. That means joining us over on Behance. If you folks are actually watching us on YouTube right now, please head over to behance.net/Adobe Live or behance.net/live so that you can join our main chat here where I am reading the chat and where everyone is interacting and getting all of the challenge information. And it also means like jumping into our Discord, which I will go into in a moment. It says watch our daily live show to see how to get started and ask questions, which is basically what this is. Those of you who are maybe watching real time right now, you guys probably know the drill. You guys are showing up here bright and early, ready to see the challenge. For those of you who are in the future and watching the broadcast later or watching the VOD recording at a later date, don't worry if you miss this live. They will all be archived for you so that you can come back and watch all of the challenges in order and get all of the downloadable assets that some of these challenges include at a later date. And then finally, it says share your work, get feedback from mentors and other participants. And that is the Discord I mentioned before. So those of you who, I need more bookmarks. Oh, yes. Those of you who are already in the Discord, you guys kind of know the drill. For those of you who are not familiar with Discord, it's essentially a really fantastic place where you can jump in to the server. There's a bunch of different channels and things where you can post various items, get feedback from mentors, and talk about design, make some design friends, and all around sort of improve your communication with fellow designers and improve your design skill. And I'm going to jump into that real quick so that you folks can see it. So real quick, I am going to pull up the Discord, and with the power of my streaming technology here, I'm going to bump myself over to the right side here. So sort of like I said yesterday, essentially the Discord is a really great place to communicate. You can see on the left side here we have so many fantastic channels where you folks can jump in and talk about design and also get updates and read announcements and various things of that nature from the Adobe Live team. So as you can see here, the Creative Challenge tab, this is where every morning Gus or Sam or some other fabulous member of our team will actually be posting for you guys guys to remind you that a challenge is getting ready to start. This is what the challenge is about. This is what the challenge is called. A little graphic that basically explains what we're going to be doing for the challenge. And then also a link and a time and date where you guys know when to show up, where to go, so that you can watch the stream live. So you can see there's like so many awesome announcements here because we've been doing these for so long. And we've got our announcement for today. So it says color replace. Use color replace and color adjustment techniques to create a product shot with various color options. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm sure you folks have seen things online before where you're buying a dress or a shirt or a hat or a pair of pants or a pair of shoes or whatever it is that you're searching for. And there are different product shots of that product. Sometimes they're shots of the actual product itself in different colors, and sometimes it's the same image with different sort of dramatized suggestions for what the other colors will look like, so that you can page through those and see if you like the product in other colors. We're essentially going to be creating some shots like that. So those of you who have a store, an online store, or maybe for those of you who just need to learn how to use the color replace feature and other color changing features for client work. You guys can sort of get a little bit of information about that and check it out and do it for yourself. So remember, we're going to be posting our work in the challenge or current challenge tab today. So after you complete your challenge, please put it here. This is where I'm going to be putting mine so that I can show it off to the community. And I definitely want to see your entry. I've already come in here and given some feedback to everyone. And I'm going to be doing some more later on today for these fabulous retouching entries that we got. I see Tan here. I was laughing this morning. Tan actually took the butterflies out of my picture and put them onto her picture, which is hilarious. Very, very funny and well done, Tan. And Fernando actually did a really great job. This is his before image where he took a picture of himself, it looks like in front of kitchen cabinets or something similar. And when he was done with the retouching, it really just looks like he took a picture of himself in front of a wooden wall, which is fabulous. The basis of the challenge yesterday was taking a selfie and retouching it to look a little bit more professional for use, like maybe if you don't have a headshot, or maybe if you just want a cleaner image to use for your LinkedIn profile or your social media or whatever it is you use. Yeah, these guys did a really good job. Can I use an edit I already did last week for fun? You can definitely share it with us, Jesse, but I hope that you would try and create something new for the challenge today. But there have been a lot of really fantastic edits, and we'll probably go through some more of them towards the end of the stream because people have been posting tons of them. I see a really good one here from EM. Awesome, guys. But let's jump into the challenge for today and see what we can come up with. So I am going to pull up my Photoshop and I'm going to bump myself over to the other side of the stream here so I'm not covering up my color swatches and things. And this is the image that I have chosen for myself today to use as my product shot, my fictional project image or product image for the day. And you folks can choose anything you want. Maybe you have some stock photos that you prefer. Maybe you have some items on your desk that you want to take an image of real quick with your phone and add to your Photoshop libraries to use. Or maybe just choose something totally different. Maybe you just want to take a picture of a celebrity and change the color of their hair or something like that. It's up to you folks how you interpret this challenge. These challenges are for you. But I'm going to be changing the color of this dress. And I'm going to be pretending that I'm, making product shots for a client. So there are a lot of different ways that you can change colors in Photoshop. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and click Control J to duplicate my image layer here. I'm going to call this dress 1. So that I remember what I'm working on. And a lot of you folks might be familiar with the very easy to use sort of hue and saturation. If you go Control U, that will bring up your hue and saturation, and you can kind of change colors like that. This kind of changes way too much. We only really want to tackle the dress today. I suppose you could also maybe do control or hit L on your keyboard and do a bit of a lasso kind of thing here and select, and then only do hue and saturation on the parts that you select if you want, which is great. You could also do something like making a new layer. If you go Control Shift in, grab your paint bucket tool with G, or selecting it from the drop down on the side there, and you could paint bucket in a color and then flip through blending modes if you want, but it really doesn't get the job done how we need it done. So what we're going to use is, like I mentioned before, the replace color. And it's a really fun way to do this. So I'm going to make sure that she is in focus here so that we can see this whole dress. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go Image, Adjustments, and then down at the bottom here there is Replace Color. So we're going to do that real quick. Now, there's a lot of different things that you can do in here. I'm just going to kind of tackle the basics to get you guys started. And what I'm going to do is you can either hit selection here to be selecting around on this image for the color that you actually want to change, or you can do what I'm going to do, and that is I'm going to hit image here so that I can see the image. And I'm just going to go ahead with my little color dropper tool here, and I am going to click right there so that I have the dress color selected. And then if I come down here and start sliding my hue bar, it will actually start changing, replacing the color that I selected with the new color. And it does it pretty cleanly after you start kind of messing with a lot of the settings. So right now, it's pretty cool, but it's not exactly what we're looking for, because as you can see, there's a lot of artifacts of that original pink color here. Now, if you look at the top, you'll see there's like a plus and minus eyedropper tool here at the top next to the normal eyedropper. You can also click into these to add and subtract to your color selection. So if I hit the add to sample button here, I can either click right on this image, but since this is a little small and I can't really get a super accurate idea of what color I'm actually clicking from this distance, I can actually come over here to my main image and just select the image, or select the color that I'd like to change, and boom. It's super clean. It's very, very easy. And you can also come up here to fuzziness, and you can kind of change how accurate you want that to be. To be honest, I typically like to leave a little fuzziness in there, because for me, it kind of adds that dark hue to those shadows in whatever project or product I'm usually changing the color of. And it adds a little bit more realism and believability to the fact that I've changed this color, because it's not just a darker color of that orange or this gold, this yellowish color that we're using. It's kind of got that pink in it still, and it makes it feel a little more real. And you can come in and you can change the saturation and the lightness and darkness if you want. I typically leave these at 0, because then it starts to get into a little bit of not really looking quite believable. So I typically leave those alone. However, you might be working with an image that is something that calls for the changing of the saturation and lightness. So it's up to you. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit OK on this, and I really like that. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to hit Control T, and I'm going to bump this over real quick, and I'm going to do this a few more times, actually. I'm going to hide this. I'm going to select my bottom layer. I'm going to grab my little marquee tool over here, and I am actually going to select this, and I'm going to hit Control J to duplicate, bump that up like so. And I am going to just basically add another version of her in. And I might do this a few times, actually. I'm going to hit Enter. I'm going to hit my C key to pull up my canvas crop. And I'm going to even drag this over further. I'm going to hit Enter. And I'm going to hit Control J on this duplicate that I made, and then Control T, and I'm going to drag another version of her over like so. And I'm going to do this a few times just to give myself a little bit of practice in changing the color. Let me go C again and crop this to the edge. Boom. Just so I can make a few different products, because that's what you'd essentially be doing if you were doing this work for yourself, for your own shop, or for a client. So I am going to grab this one, and I'm going to go back to Image, Adjustments, and Replace Color. and I'm going to switch it back over to image because it's easier for me to understand that way. I'm going to select this pink color, and I'm going to bump this into maybe a blue. I kind of like that blue a lot. That's really nice. I'm going to zoom in here with, I'm doing my control plus and minus to zoom in and out. And then I'm going to make sure I select my add to selection here, and I am going to grab this other purple. Yeah, there we go. It's looking good. And it kind of, if you notice, it kind of changed the color of her lips a little bit. We can actually probably come in here and remove that a little bit. And I might even go in afterward and kind of, let's see what we can do. Bum, bum, bum. In fact, you know what I might do? What would be easy to do in this instance? If I hit cancel and duplicate that again, so I have one directly underneath it, and then I can come in here and do that again. This is what I would do if this was a real client I was working on this for. Sample this again, change it to that nice blue that I like so. Add some more of that color to it, boom. And I would say okay, and then I would actually come in with my eraser tool if I hit E on my keyboard, and I would just erase that out since there's a duplicate one right underneath it. That is what I would do just to keep it really clean, because then I don't have to worry about sampling just the right perfect amount of blue. It kind of just makes things a little bit easier for me, and it looks nice. It works. I am, of course, using a mouse to do this erasing, so it's not as clean as it probably could be, but it still works. Boom. So she looks nice in her blue, and then maybe I think I'll leave the pink dress there because that's our original. So we have 3 different versions of the same dress now, which looks pretty awesome. So now that I have this, I'm actually going to go ahead and go Control S because the challenge does not end here. Because remember, we have to share this with everyone else so that other people can see what we created. So I'm going to save this as dress. Very simple and straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and save that as a JPEG. And then I'm also going to hit Control S just on my PSD document so that my original file is saved. And then I'm going to come over here to my Behance. Let me pull up Behance. There we go. And I'm going to click on my own image up here to bring up my profile. I'm going to hover over this little gear icon and hit Edit. And then I'm going to come down here past our challenge 1 retouching, and then I'm going to come in here and edit my challenge 2. So again, like I did yesterday, I'm going to bump this into center. I'm going to turn it to bold, and I am going to call this color replace. Boom. And I am going to add that image. Let's grab my file. There we go. Pull up our dresses. And I'm going to click this little button here because I kind of want to bump it in. You guys can do your images how you prefer. I always like to bump them in a little bit so that if somebody's scrolling through my Behance project on a smaller screen, they can see as much of that image as they possibly can. Oh, thank you so much, Michael. All right, so that while that's loading, I'm actually going to add a little bit of text here because remember, when you're presenting something on Behance, it's always important to give a little context to your viewers. So I'm going to say for challenge 2, I used the color replace feature to mock up different versions of an online product. And I'm going to edit this to make sure it says replace properly. And I'm going to capitalize challenge because it's important. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I'm doing it. All right. So for challenge 2, I used the color replace feature to mock up different versions of an online product. That is perfect. I'm going to hit save. Just like that. And then when I go to my profile and hit my PSDCC, if I scroll down here, oh, it didn't, oh, there it goes. Okay, it just took it a little while. So now I have all of my little project product images here, which look Awesome. So there's that. Now let's go to our Discord. And I am going to scroll down here. Oh, look, Jim did a great job. Excellent work, Jim. I'm going to come over here and remember press this little plus button in order to add your images that you want to add to the Discord. I'm going to navigate to my replace color dress JPEG here. And I'm going to say, here is my challenge 2 entry for today. Can't wait to see yours. Boom. And you notice that when I did this, I did include the original image, just like we did yesterday. I highly recommend that you folks include the before picture that you actually edited, because if you do include it, then it just gives us a little more context when we're looking at your project to see the full extent of the work and time and effort you actually put into your challenge entry. I've seen a lot of really fabulous entries come in, but when we don't have that context, it's hard to really give credit where credit is due. So please, please, please show the original, or at least show different variations like I did, so that we can tell exactly what you did. Thank you guys very much for the hearts. I appreciate it. Now I'm going to come through and I'm just going to highlight some of the awesome work that you guys have done. By the way, Jim, like I said, this is so fabulous. So this is the original selfie that I gave to you guys, just in case you didn't have a selfie or an image to use on your own. It was a selfie I took of myself in the bathroom at my home, and I needed to touch it up so that I could use it for something in a more professional capacity, because I don't have headshots. So I showed on stream how I removed the Nike logo and the bar on the wall and the butterflies, and Jim has done a fabulous job of retouching out all of those elements. Very, very good. It looks like EM did a pretty nice just kind of color retouching on this image, and he also removed, you can see there's some like a man and some people in the back corner of this image. Now these colors are more vibrant, and he's retouched out all of those people in the background. Well done. Aria did like a pretty cool challenge cover, which looks awesome. Very nice. Marie, selfie enhancement. This is great. So you can see the original image. I love that you put that little icon in the corner so that we can really get the full scope of what you did. There's all this stuff in the back, and when she's done, it's all very cohesive and consistent and looking great. Awesome. Let's see, another awesome cover from Tan. I'm loving it. Like I said earlier, Tan totally took the butterflies out of my picture and put it into hers, which looks awesome. But there are so many fabulous entries. Like Asma actually removed like an entire person from this one using those retouching tools. And everyone has done such a fabulous job. Just like yesterday and today, I'm going to be in here in the Discord giving people feedback again on what they worked on today, and kind of you know, doubling back to some of the challenges from yesterday's challenge to give feedback on those. I'm very excited to see what you folks come up with for today. It's going to be super exciting. Thank you all for joining me, and please stay tuned because we've got another day of design. There's a design segment coming up after me, followed by the XD Daily Creative Challenge, followed by an XD segment coming up right after me. So definitely stay tuned for that. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Happy designing, folks.